Good morning, good morning. I hope you're having an amazing Thursday. It is Thankful Thursdays for Love Inspired Teach E. I am actually waiting for Dollar Tree to open. I will be attending a career fair as a parent volunteer for my son's school, just letting him know that I do sales and marketing. I'm going to let the kids know I'm a serial entrepreneur and I do consulting. So I'm going to break it down for the 5th and 8th graders. I was on a wonderful podcast last night. There were several people that reached out to me because they could tell that I was triggered. And I'm not going to deny it. I was most certainly triggered. Everything I saw on TV that occurred with Jada and Will and all the discussions around it are hard for me because people don't understand that I grew up in what was considered a celebrity household. I grew up in a sports, I shouldn't put quotes, but I grew up in a sports home, a very driven home where everyone was advised and coached and pushed to excel and do very, very well. I reference Tiger Mom. I reference Mommy Dearest. I reference just different situations to try to get people to understand there's good coaches, there's bad coaches. There's good actors, there's bad actors. There are people in your life who are going to push you a certain way. And the fact of the matter is, I do therapy. I have a therapist. I don't normally like to share that, but I find that if I don't share it, I get called names. And then when I do share with my abuser, then they use it against me. They call it gaslighting. That has happened to me. I suffer from emotional abuse from family members. I'm not going to name names. It's kind of one of those things, if you know, you know. But I had a fear when it came to going to pick up my kids. I had a fear about how I was going to be perceived. I had a fear about what was going to be said about me. And I got confirmation that I got called names that are not flattering, that are names that I've never wanted people to say about me, but people do. They do it all the time. So in the podcast I was in, all those people kept asking, are you high? I don't smoke weed. My dad's from California, but I don't smoke weed. I don't do CBD, especially because I work in a lot of conservative corporate environments. So that's frowned upon. Like if I have to drop and take a blood test, I don't want to take all the crap that they do to pass, the people who smoke do to pass a drug test. That's not me. I tell people I want to be one of those Razor X people that have the black marker. They're high off of life. That's what I want to be. And that's how I try to live my life. My company, Love Inspired Teach E, is about loving one another. It's about creating inspiration around each other. It is about teaching one another so that we evolve to become better people. And I have to say a huge, huge thank you to all those people who were checking on me. Meek, are you okay? Meek, are you okay? And when I was in the podcast, I kept telling them, no, this is not okay. I was getting triggered left and right there because as soon as my friend walks in, I got dumped. It was just we were in the middle of, and the last time I went to the podcast, they didn't do that. People were given room to introduce themselves. Yes, they went in order of new people first. However, I was on time. So it just threw me off to just get shoved aside. And it felt like every time I tried to, like I said, double dutch into the conversation, I got put to the side. So I'm thankful for that experience. I want you to know I'm thankful for that experience because it taught me what my trigger is. I am in group coaching with the Elevate program with Lisa Nichols, so I'll go ahead and pub her. She shared with us to put it into bite-sized pieces, figure out what the problem is, what is creating this limiting belief? If you follow motivational people, you'll understand this. What is creating this limiting belief in your life? And then what little steps can you take to push past it? So I had to keep going. I wanted to get up and walk away. I wanted to run. And Brian was like, stay, sit. And what's funny is my other friend was like, she needs to get up. She needs to breathe. She needs to get outside. She needs air. And it was like, no, I need to push through this. And I know why she was worried about it. She was embarrassed for me. And I was not comfortable. But I had already told her I can't keep living my life in fear of what everyone else thinks of me. And it's not that I don't care. I just cannot live in fear. I care what people think of me. Who doesn't care what people think of them? But if you've ever been in this show business, the show must go on. And if you've ever been in any fast-paced life, if you've driven a race car, it's a fast pace. You've got to keep moving. So it's so funny because when I was out with my friend, she's like, you just go too fast. And I'm like, I have to get in where I fit in. I have to assess the situation around me. I used to work in pharmaceutical sales. One of the things they had me do is a personality profile. I'm what's considered for the DISC profile a high D. A high driver. Only 10% of the world is a driver. It's driver, like influencer, like scientific and conscientious. Those are the 4 different personality profiles. Or you should check what's your parachute. But I'm a high D. And what's funny is when I worked in pharmaceutical sales, the manager I had was like, Tamika, you're really that high of a D? I thought you were an I. I was like, my D goes like this, my I goes like this, and everything else is super low. Super low. But what they also teach you is you have to adjust your style to who's around you. So if I sense that someone's nervous or that they need more space to speak, I'll typically shrink to give them the platform. And I think that's what happened, and it bothered me because I was the one who had sought out the opportunity. And it's okay, because I did it to myself in deciding to share. And I'm not mad at that because it was a great experience. And I had it before. I got to go on the podcast before. And what's awesome is I have not been doing a great job with making my YouTube videos. So that's what I'm doing with you guys this morning. I'm going to run into Dollar Tree. I have a couple little more gift bag items to create and have to do setup at the career fair. But I did want to share that with you guys. Thank you. On this wonderful Thursday for giving me space to speak. Have a great day. Love and light.